everyone, my name is Mitz, here back at Finnigan's Wright Conflict of Interest. So, going into the second day of trial, Francisca's here as a prosecutor, and is telling us about how she thinks her motive for Mr. Alan Yossarian to be the killer for both crimes is. Mostly just entirely just boiling down to, he's connected to the family, he was a hitman, he did the dirty work. Clean, concise, all a day's work. And now she's going to tell us about how she thinks both crimes are connected. So tell us, Franzi. Tell us all about it. Only somebody involved could have known where the body is buried. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Unless someone told them. With a near decisive trial yesterday, there's no question who the murderer is. After killing Jameson, the assassin needed a place to dispose the body. The glass porter returned to the scene. He fled before it could be done. The fact he even tried digging the same hole shows he knew what he was buried there. With this, all relevant facts have been discussed. He is guilty. You know, that's really strong, actually. Your case rests on the assumption that the two murders might be connected. They are connected. I've just started to say why. The most important statement I've made yet today. Why is that? With 2 murder counts, the prosecution is able to move for a capital sentence. Oh. The death penalty? Did I forget to mention that the other day? They're really gunning for him. I had no idea Williamson was pushing that far. Well, he's barely decided to say anything to us, so, yeah. Why am I just now finding out about this? Give up yet, Phoenix, Wright? I've finally beaten you. Not yet. You made a good point. But let's see if it holds any water. You never change. That's all in vain this time. That man is truly guilty. Well, whether he is or not doesn't make much of a difference, does it? Guess already guilty of something. Only somebody involved could know where the body was buried. Yeah, it was in the middle of the woods, and a shovel seems to be used for both murders, both to strangle the second victim and all that. Yeah, it kind of checks out. How are you sure? Of course the killer would know where his victim had been disposed of. He never told anyone, or else the crime would have been reported. Or they decided to work with them? Nobody might have stumbled on Mr. Black by accident? It was a month. Those woods are very isolated, only 3 people live in the area, and one of them is the killer. Maybe it makes sense, but... There's these questions? Oh, please don't tell me it's gonna be penalties if we ask. Maybe it's unlikely, but it's still a possibility. You have to wander off the path to find it. The grave was in the bushes. If you didn't know what to look for, you'd miss it. What about an accomplice? If you wish to connect your client to both deaths, be my guest. At the very least, the shovel was the same murder weapon. Somebody with knowledge of the first murder must have killed the second victim. Don't forget that Don't forget that Jameson's murderer tried to bury him there, too. Yeah. What more is there for me to say? The near decisive trial yesterday, there's no question who the murderer is. Yeah, my client ran away from the crime scene and looped all the way back around until someone was chasing him just to kill a guy. Then left that new witness to get away and report it. Makes complete sense. The trial was extended because the facts weren't clear. False. There was an extension because body witness asked for one. If you had been the one to try that, we would not be here today. Probably true, actually. Yes. I can restate all the points against you if need be. Maybe it makes sense, but... Okay, go for it. What? I'd like you to review every single thing we discussed yesterday. You must rhetorical, you fool! That would take hours! Totally worth it. Even without the reporter's testimony, we still know enough for a conviction. That by itself shows the same killer murdered both men. Oh, so does it mean we have to... Oh, I get reminded of that testimony. Not that, her confession thing. I knew Jameson and was working with him. I didn't actually see the killing blow. To killing Jameson, the assassin needed a place to dispose the body. It's a big coincidence that both murders happened there. It must not have been a coincidence. Ha! The assassin planned it that way. Jameson was lured to that specific spot. Maybe it makes sense, but always something strange with this one, Chief. Okay. The assassin? She means whoever killed the two, but don't I know there's more? Williamson might be keeping me in the dark, but Francisca wouldn't. Not about this. Yeah, a body would keep things completely in the dark for no fucking reason by this point. Like, what? Now's the perfect time to ask more about this piece of evidence. Oh yeah, the killer's card, the other assassin. You keep using the word assassin. Yes, it was hyperbole. Does that bother you? Maybe you could fill me in. This card was found near the grave. It's from a man both you and I know is a real assassin. Why exactly is the prosecution so sure that Shelley the killer didn't? Hold your tongue. No gallivanting off on any crazy theories this time. Listen to me. I don't know what you think that card means, but the killer is not to blame. What? Then why is this card there? He wasn't involved with either of these two murders. Not at all. Not one bit. What? But the card. Ah, yikes! Do you think I've just been goofing off all this time? I know what I'm talking about. The killer hasn't been seen in this country for years. He was involved in an assassination attempt on a foreign official a long time ago. And he fled the country afterwards. Last I knew, he was somewhere in Eastern Europe. But the card? Lumison told me... What? I don't care what he told you. Whatever he said, it was a lie. Oh wow, at this point gives me more point either. Even though a body says he's trust us now, he's still fucking lying to us. Ugh. And this is not even like one of those good lies either, like, don't get your feelings hurt. Literally the only reason Phoenix is here is just because of this card, and that's it. That's literally it so far. And I guess learn more about the whole gang thing to make sure that Pearl or Maya or Hammond doesn't get, you know, axed off, and that's it. But, like, Jesus. A lie? No, but maybe one of a mission. He had to know. He did it just to get me to take the case. Yay! Mr. Wright, you've asked your question and she answered it. After 2 days investigating, we still only have one reasonable suspect. I didn't see through it after his trickery at Karain. The killer had nothing to do with this. Why should I ever take this case? I should just throw the towel. Spiky, can you make me a promise? Oh, hi, wee lady, you want us to finish this case just for you? Oh, wowie golly gee willikers. That depends. I want you to get to the bottom of this, no matter what. If it means defending that man. Jameson gave his life for this, and I think it was to give you a chance. Me? Yeah, you. You and Williamson. Well, Williamson's not here, and good for it. We've been trying to get at the family, at Mendira's, but we could never get anywhere. Jameson being dead might open up a chance for that. Killing murdered my sister, and Mendira tried to kill your lady friend. Too many people are dying, but you could stop it if you do this right. You really made quite the impression on Jameson. He saw you had it in you. You have what it takes to solve everything. Miss Porter wants me to solve this, at any cost. She's trusting me to get this done. No, not just her. Jimmy did as well. Is that what he's trying to prove? Is Mr. Yossarian really guilty? That seems too simple. You wouldn't need me to solve that. Everyone's already convinced of it. I'll never be sure if I don't search every single possibility. If I'm not 100% certain of this, Jimmy's death might have been for nothing. I had to press on. Objection! Stop! This trial doesn't end here. Phoenix, Wright. I thought you would have grown out of this silly phase. I think saying someone else's full name would be a silly phase as well. Never, Francisca. I'm not giving up until every stone is turned over. Every angle looked at. Every possibility discussed. No matter how small. What is it to talk about? He's guilty. Guilty, I say. Guilty! I know that. You know that. Everybody knows that. We've hardly examined everything. There's also something both you and I know. That's why you're pressing for the trial to end now. There was a witness. and you're afraid of what he might say. You explained the killer, but somebody else knew about Mr. Black's murder. Do we present profile, or let's go profile, because if it's not profile, then it's like this. Well, that was mentioned like years ago. Well, months ago, actually. You're so eager to close this case without us meeting your star witness? I know Finnigan Hood saw the murder, and so do you. Why avoid it? Fool! I wasn't avoiding anything. The case has been sufficiently explained. Nevertheless, we should hear from this witness. As the court wishes. Yes, I can do the voice again. I love that voice. The defense wants me to further prove his client guilty, then so be it. I have no qualms with it. If it's the truth you want, then it's the truth you shall get. The prosecution calls its next witness. Your Honor, he's waiting for us in the lobby. Excellent. You may have some time to prep him. This court is now in recess. While we jolly heel Willikers, I'm ready to have my voice be blown out just by doing a pirate voice. The best way of a pirate voice I can ever muster, anyway. A lot of crazy stuff we're discussing in there. Are you still having trouble lighting your cigar after all this time? Wowie. Ignoring me won't work forever. I hope you realize that. You want my thoughts? It would be nice for a change. Fine then. What the heck was that? I kind of figured. Bring up Luciano? Are you trying to get me killed? Well, it's not like I'm at the same time, you're now you actually care about your own thing. We're your only lawyer and you don't even care about that? Okay, this is on you. That's on you, dude. I had no idea you two even knew each other. You're setting me up. I don't know why you dragged it out this long, but you're doing just that. I got no chance in this, so just get the hell out of my face and finish already. I'm working your butt off in there. Maybe it's not for you, but it's working. The least I can get from you is a good luck. I hardly need it. Did you order Luciano to carry out those assassinations? I say no, you won't believe me, will you? After all that. Doesn't matter now, I'm a dead man either way, thanks to you. I'm not scheming against you. If you're innocent... Andy's tuned me out once more. I mean, I thought once the prosecution dropped the killer bomb, it would be all over. Trissy, I have an apology. I made a promise to you that if I ever thought he was guilty, I would quit. Are you breaking it? So far he's been suspicious and there's plenty of evidence, but there's still a lot that's unanswered. There are too many questions remaining. This whole thing with MN6 and the Rivales family, it's affecting a bunch of people. The killer had nothing to do with it, but somebody needs to find the truth. Why is even the killer's card there? Literally just to stall out investigation? No, what was the point of the card exactly? If there's nothing at all with it. Did fucking Obadia also set that up? What the fuck? You could play with Phoenix like fabricating evidence or just like planting things? What is that then? If the killer did not put it there, then what the fuck, Obadia? You think that somebody is you? At this point, it might have to be. That's all I need to hear. I'm with you to the end, no matter what. I can't give up. Not yet. I won't let you down, Jimmy. You're willing to go as far as you did. Thank you, Jimmy. I won't let it go to waste. Hey, Finnigan Hood. Pirate voice time. Oh god, did I forget? Forgot how to do the voice now? Oh no, please don't tell me I forgot how to do the voice. No, please don't do this to me. Oh, come to me. Order, court session now. You must be the witness. That I am. Shall I state me name and job for ye? Please do. Let us see you're prepared. I've been in many a court. Even after all these years, feels like just like yesterday. Also, you're really prepared. The witness is a former defense attorney. I'd be disappointed if he wasn't. Objection. That's his voice. Oh, hold up, ma'am. I can introduce myself just fine. You might have had some idiot witnesses, but I'm not the same. Please give me the same respect I've given you. Yeah. Not exactly a pirate voice from my recollection, but how would a pirate voice look? Just sound like in my voice. Guess we'll never know. Please continue. Name's Finnigan Hood. I guess I was an attorney at some point. You guess. Don't use my words. I like saying I guess and maybe and probably all the time in my waking day, everyday life. But those days are long gone and not worth speaking of. What do you do now? Now, I guess just me and me daughter. I do the odd job here and there, but I got enough saved up I can make it by. How about taking a piano plan? I did. There's a club with a new opening. Wouldn't that be ironic? Nah, not enough. Mr. Hood, speaking of daughter, you two live next door to the defendant, correct? Hey, the only 2 houses there. There's 3 of us living in that lot. You just don't get many visitors. The 2 houses are rather isolated, are they not? Yes. We're away from the big city. You have to go out of your way to be there. Jameson had an apartment in the city. Why would he come out so far? To meet with somebody who lived there, of course. The suspect. Yesterday's witness confirmed this. Aye, mighty suspicious Gladys Porter to be there. Mr. Hood? Porter shan't have been there without reason, aye? She was up to something. Witness, you've been left out of the proceedings until now. How'd you come by the name? Oh, well, it were Mr. Wright who told me. I know from him that Miss Porter witnessed the Rosencrantz murder. Yeah. There's a reason we wanted to keep him out of the loop. Did you ever think this might alter his testimony today? It was going to be this way no matter what. I don't care. It seemed like a good idea at the time, better than lying to him. Yeah. And you wonder why I always kept you off my crime scenes. Just the witness knows the truth. You've been trying to misled him. But you better hope this doesn't make problems for us. I'll have my eye on you today. Wow. Hilarious. I'll keep that in mind. Wait. You're gonna do pressing penalties again? If I lied, he'd still have checked and then I'd be in some other kind of trouble. Yeah, no matter what. I should have known he'd get the answer eventually. Now it's biting me in the rear. Then what's the problem? When his testimony will cover the murder of Virgil Black. He did not see the actual death, but his testimony will still be significant. I'm sure you don't need me to instruct you what to do from here. Not alone, miss. It'll be easy. Mr. Hood used to be an attorney like myself. I don't know how good he was, but I shouldn't underestimate him. I know he's a crafty man. The 2 men. I was inside that night with me daughter. Heard some people talking out in the woods and thought it was odd. When I went to check, I heard 2 people next to a bush. There were 2 men. I didn't want to get involved in no dirty business, so I got right out of there. Next day, I went to where they were and found that grave. Wait, you knew where the grave was for an entire month? Wait, what? 2 men. One of them was my client? Wait, okay, hold on. It makes sense if you saw 2 men talking to each other and then, like, you know, you identified who the second victim was if the police asked you. But, like, you knew there was a grave there for a whole solid month and did not report it to the police? It was muddy dark, so I couldn't tell. And what lions say knew it were him. Fool lie that would be. You catch me right out. It's reasonable to assume they were the killer and the victim. That's supposition, and you know it, Francisca. Oh? Witness, when did you see this? It was the 9th of September. It was the 9th of September, I believe. Yeah, at the same time of death as Mr. Black's autopsy report stated. That's the date Mr. Black was killed. Virgil Black was murdered that same night and buried in that same spot. Who's supposing now, Phoenix Wright? Well, I mean, did he see the victim in full clarity? I mean, he had like a large brown afro. Like, he couldn't see the face, right? He'd just see afro. His hair would just blend into the bush that late at night. Ugh. You were a murderer, right? The body was there in the hole when I checked. How come you didn't tell anybody about this for a whole month? Methinks you can guess why, Your Honor. Me neighbor's in organized crime. When a body shows up, it'd be a mistake to get involved. You're coming clean now, so nobody will blame you. Okay, that makes more sense, actually. You saw him with his killer, and that is all that matters. Weren't you just arguing that nobody but the killer would know the location of the grave? We did mention that, but as you'll find, Mr. Hood's alibi is rather impeccable. Oh yes, me cut me hand. That's alibi enough. He simply could not be the killer. Well, I think it weakens your case. If that is that why you didn't want Mr. Hood testifying? Oh, don't harass the lady, Mr. Wright. She's correct. The police have spoken to me and Jane will be checked out. I wasn't on here long enough to commit a murder and hide the body. They'll try and save the baddie, sir. It won't work. A month is a long time. A lot could have happened that period. Aye, such a shame that is. Wish I could tell you more. Guess you have to prove it all the hard way. Yay. That's why Francisca didn't want him speaking. She has just as low idea of what he might say as I do. I don't know what sort of game Mr. Hood's playing, but this is clever of him. I know she's not trying to accuse Mr. Yossarian at all, just a mysterious figure. By admitting he doesn't know who he saw, he can claim ignorance no matter what goes down. He's going to be careful not to leave any contradictions. Come to think of it, I don't know if I see any. Yeah. You look stumped. Might I help? What'd you have in mind? What? Something along the lines of this. You know, I brought this up before about if Clevy or Gavin was like, you know, gonna be the prosecution here instead of Francisca, that it would just makes Apollo's absence very more blatant. But this is just what? So we're not gonna get Apollo at all, but we're just gonna have his bracelet here. Why is there just such a big thing not to make sure Apollo does not get seen at all in this game? You only get to see him once, and that's literally just a background character like when Maya's in the hospital, and that's it. You talk to him once, but that's like completely like indirectly online the internet, and nothing else. Why bring this? Why bring his bracelet out here, but not have him attached to it? I mean, the bracelet attached to skin. What have you done, Trucy? You ripped it off his hands, his wrists. He's bleeding on the floor now. Is that? Yep. I said it before we left today. Thought it might come in handy. What? I tried it once before when he wasn't looking. Found out I had the same ability he does. Isn't that crazy? Yes. Oh, I really should get around to telling them one of these days. Just already do that. I'm just like, that's never gonna get resolved in the main canon at all either. That's never gonna get resolved at all. At all. That was teased in the very ending of like Apollo Justice, but like, never again. It was never brought up a single time in Dual Destinies because they weren't mainstay characters. Apollo had some roles, and then in Spirit of Justice again, Trucy had one like case involving her, and then literally the game ends with, you know, like Phoenix teasing literally that again, but nothing. Because of the no spoiler rule, they'll never do that. They'll never do it. So what's even the point of like teasing it then if you're not gonna do it at all? Like, do some good stuff with it. You can make something out of it. At this point, please. Be careful with it. That's one thing we don't want to lose. Something Folly doesn't notice when you take it right off his arm. At least him giving it back. Imagine if he ran into a real thief. I just watch the witness and point out any strange movements he's making. How hard can it be? Very. I don't see any options right now. Why don't you give it a shot? Ha! Trucy mode! Activate! Okay. So we're gonna do bracelet here. Oh yeah, that's another thing to point out. Like, I actually liked... Like, I think Apollo Justice, like, that game, like, does the whole bracelet mechanic way better than the other two games. Because you can only use the bracelet investigation modes now. And why? Why? I think it works so much better once in the courtroom and just like doing these testimony things. Like the bracelet's not meant to be used for like some supernatural ability. Like, yes, that's it, you got it. It's also to point you in the right direction, and then you point things out. Like literally, I think the very first case of Apollo Justice actually makes it out really well. Of Olga Orly, when she like, you know, when you perceive her like scratching her neck, you can literally connect two and two together about like why she would be scratching her neck, and connect it to she was literally hit on the neck and knocked out by a bottle. So it's like it strikes into the right direction. Even if it's not exactly a one-to-one movement, like someone may fidgeting with their like their fingers or hands, it could just be like, you know, this thing they're saying they're not sure about, so you need to pay more focus than that to it and ask more questions about it and just think through it. Honestly, I love how that is. But then the other Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice is like, oh, I see. They lied. I see. Thank you. And they basically just relegated off the whole Apollo's perceivability off the courtroom just to give spotlight to Athena's ability. Just mood matrix, which by itself, like, personally, I think it's fine, but like, I can tell, like, it definitely needs more writing work because that her power of hers remains unchecked for every single case it's in. Just no one questions it. It was mindless. I was gonna go straight into the testimony here, but I think this would be a good time to leave it off as anything else. We're already at time. Plus, I feel like I think this is, I can already feel it's gonna be a highlight if they're gonna actually use the bracelet properly at the very least. Like, honestly. Oh god, hopefully this case actually does the bracelet justice. If they're not gonna even have Apollo here, then better get his actual bracelet justice as well. Like, literally, pun intended. Pun intended. But we'll figure all this out and like go through that whole mechanics to see how it'd be used here for next time. So, for a fun time watching as I am playing this. Hope you see me next time, what time may be, and I'll hope a fantastic day.